Hey y'all, welcome in. How's everybody doing out there? Great to see you guys. All right, let's dive right in. Ooh, we got the Nine of Cups. That's a good start. That's a good start. You're focusing on what you're wanting. You're filling your cups of love. You're really just, you're in your feels right now. You're feeling, they want you to feel satisfied, okay? This is about emotional satisfaction, okay? And for those of you who struggle with this, this is the time to start to kind of pour all that energy back into yourself, okay? Like what is satisfying for you, even if it's like really, especially if it's really simple things like, a cup of coffee, right? Like notice when you feel fulfilled and satisfied. That's so important right now, okay? Like freaking perfect cup of coffee. The best things are the simplest things, right? And if we could start to build our life around those basic building blocks of what brings you joy. I mean, it sounds so corny. I get it. Like, oh, joy, we're all about joy. Like, I mean, it's annoying, but it's also at the same time, like, it's true. So you could either, I don't know. It's like it's joyless to not feel joy or to complain about joy or to kind of mock it in some way. I have a very cynical side to myself. Those of you just getting to know me, my alter ego is the cynical psychic because I don't know. I just see this world sometimes as just being inverted and mixed up in terms of like the programming and what we're taught. And yeah, it's the Queen of Swords. We're here to cut through the bullshit. Who's with me? Who wants to cut out the BS, right? Like, don't you want to just get to it? Do you just want to get to the party? It's like I have all these beautiful things brewing in my life, like new adventures and ideas and a lot of movement and things. And today I woke up, I'm like, God damn, I just wish I could just like snap my fingers and like have it be so, but kind of the fun part is like getting there, right? I mean, we're always trying to, climb new mountains. And as soon as you get the thing, like that's what I'm up against right now. Like, I'm like, I kind of did it. Like I had this kind of idea in my head of what I was going to do. And this happens all the time throughout my life. I'm going to move to New York and be a stylist. So I did. I'm going to move to California and have a baby. So I did. I'm going to be a writer. So I did, like I did all these things, now I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I lost my mind, and I just love connecting with people and I love talking about these truths and I love helping you come unstuck, this is all in your head. So our limitations, right now, all you have to do is just shift your perspective around something, okay? Because I know, oh boy, do I know this feeling. You feel trapped, you feel stuck, you feel like you don't know where to go, you don't fit, nothing's working. It sucks. I get it. But this is part of the journey, okay? You can't avoid this, sweetie, So try not, do your best not to overthink things right now, period. Focus on the feeling. The Nine of Cups is just saying, like, don't, you're just a little guarded. I get it. Like you've been through a lot. It seems like insurmountable to like get out of your situation. But if you notice, that's the beautiful thing about the Eight of Swords is that her bandages are very loose. You know what I mean? She's blindfolded. She's not seeing a situation clearly. So this is where you have to really tune in to your feelings with the Nine of Cups. Like pay attention to the feeling and create the energy around you of feeling good. That's what you can control. It's harder some days than others, but focusing on what makes you feel good will create a stronger energy system and that will help you release. So all she has to do, these are just bandages, like I said, they can fall away easily. She's not like, she's not like bound to anything in particular. She's kind of wrapped up in her own stuff. So this is where you just got to get out of your own way right now. Stop self-obsessing, stop analyzing yourself to death. Like just don't do that. Don't, even they're saying it's like you don't really want to talk about yourself right now. I know that sounds really weird, but when you're on the phone with a friend or you're doing something, you're just going on and on and on about something, just notice that. Use that as a stop. Or if your friend is doing that, like they're looping a little bit, just be a gentle reminder of like, okay, you've said that like 8,000 times. Let's stop and shift gears a little bit. And part of what you can do is help yourself get out of that situation, and then also help other people too, if it's someone in your environment. I feel like it's more of your own. You're just not seeing something clearly, and that's not your fault. You're kind of in a defensive state a little bit, where you're a little bit paralyzed. I mean, I know this feeling really well. Well, it's like you're kind of so overwhelmed that you just get stuck. Like you don't know what to do. You don't know where, like, to take the next step. You're not sure what to do. So we get stuck in this, and that's fine. This is normal. So she removes the bandages. She just kind of like move your body for sure. That will help loosen the bandages. So just get out and move, get out and dance, go run, go swim, go move the body in new ways. That's so important. Like, absolutely. Like this morning, I was so I didn't sleep well last night, and I took my son to school, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go back to bed, and I was like, nope, I'm going to do yoga, and I, did a little thing, yoga, and I felt so much better. I actually feel like I woke up, right? So moving your body will help a lot. Okay, this is an emotional thing. So with all that water there, it's just remember this is emotional. Just feel your way through it. Allow yourself to feel and not think, for as long as you can. And then all she does is she takes the blindfold off after her bandages fall away, and she just steps through the swords, and off she goes, like to another mountain to climb, right? Like there's always going to be another thing. So this whole idea of success and achievement, really, it doesn't mean much. It doesn't really matter. And I have to share with you guys, like, I just have gone down the rabbit hole of Jeremy Renner and his story. Oh my God. He has a book out now explaining his accident. For those who aren't familiar, Jeremy Renner is a big movie star, action hero, and he was run over by a snowcat in his home up in Tahoe. Oh God, I just shook. Yeah, like I literally banged myself saying that. It was a tragic accident. I mean, the dude was dead. Like he died. He just was flat out dead. And he shares the whole story in depth, in detail, and he's just incredible. Like how he overcame this is just like, it's unbelievable, right? But he was sharing, because he technically he died. There was a butterfly that just went past my window, a white one. Ooh, we got some peace. And he shares about what it's like, on the other side. And it's all those experiences, the near-death experiences, they fascinate me so much because they're all so beautiful. And he's like, I didn't want to come back. And he is very clear when he talks about this. He's like, love is the only thing that goes with you. It's just love. And he's like, did it matter that I was like in a big movie with Tom Cruise and, hanging out with him in Shanghai or whatever? He's like, no, that didn't matter. He's like, it was cool, but it didn't matter. He was like, it was the love. And now he's all about like shared experiences. Ooh. Someone's being very interruptive. I turned my focus off and, interesting. Anyways, back to what I was saying. And he just talks about shared experiences and the love that comes with shared experiences. And his whole life is basically, it was always kind of like that, but it just sort of made him more of who he is. And it's really fascinating. I highly recommend anyone who's kind of feeling stuck right now is like, go. He's interviewed all over Joe Rogan. I mean, everyone's talked to him. And he's just amazing. I find him so inspiring, and whatever works, whatever gets you to remove your own limitations, like your own feeling, your own mental limitations. This is like your mind. This is the programming, thinking that you can't have something or you don't deserve it. And I'm just noticing too, if you can see in the card, it's like at the top of the mountain, there's like a castle, right? And like the red that she's wearing and the red in the castle, it's like she belongs there, It's like, and the red is, your root chakra, right? So it's your stability, it's your safety, your sense of home, sense of tribe, all of that. So some of you guys are, you're feeling a little alone, like you might just be feeling really isolated. I mean, I've been feeling like this for a while. That's why I'm choosing to take my bandages off. I'm just like, I don't have to do it like this. Like we think we've got to do it things a certain way, and this is how it's supposed to go. And the universe is asking you to rethink those concepts. Like, what is it's all the stuff. It's like what a woman should be like at a certain age, being a mom, being, a business owner, being like all these things that we think, men too, of course, all of us, like we're supposed to be doing certain things, and that's all bullshit. That's what I mean. We're cutting through that bullshit because you're you, and it's important. They want you to like get there, and it seems like many of you guys are like, yeah, I'm stuck, I'm in hangman mode, I don't know, where I belong, or it seems too far away. That's okay. It's really not, I mean, it's right there. And this is the type of thing where when she moves out of this, like, who knows what's on the other side waiting to bring her up there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it looks like, don't look too far and think of it as like that's too hard to do. Like, no, you just, all you have to do is take the next step. Okay. Try not to like storyboard out like, how am I going to go do this? How am I going to go move to Europe when I have like, how am I going to do this? How is that going to go? Don't worry about how. Okay. This is what's keeping you stuck. Quite frankly, is the how. You're like, ow, how is ow? That's hurtful to you. Don't ask how. Know that you belong. Like there's just a sense of belongingness that, we're all looking for really. And we're all craving that. And so don't you want to just get there? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, don't you at least want to start the journey now? Like, why? You don't have to wait is my point. Even if like maybe you have little kids and you're like, okay, well, once they're, in school or whatever, even all that programming, like, why don't like you rethink that? Oh, they've got to be at this school for the, this amount of time, and they got to get really good grades, and they got, fuck all that shit, man. You're living up to someone else's expectations, not your own. Just develop your own values. This is the time to focus on that. What do you really love and value? You're your own person. Okay, your perspective is shifting. This is what the hangman's all about. It's about seeing your situation differently. Okay, that's what slows you down. They're like, the universe ain't gonna give you what you want, darling, until you change your mind. It's an attitude adjustment, it's a mental flip, it's seeing things clearly, the willingness to see things clearly, changing your story. Big one there. I'm this, I'm that. Oh, poor me. No. That's keeping you stuck. You are an endless, magical, divine being of light, having an experience here on this planet. Period. Like, don't overcomplicate it. They're like, just like, they don't even want you to figure it out. They're just like, have fun. I mean, it's rough. It's like jumping out of an airplane. But it's like we did it, like, because we're just adventurous souls. We chose to come down here, jumped on an airplane, basically. So find those people who you're like, let's go do it again. It was kind of like last week's, was it last week we were talking about the amusement park and the Gemini and like going up the roller coaster and then like doing all that and then getting back in line, doing it all over again. That look at things in that regard, like get up and do it again, like they're just saying, enjoy the ride, man. God, why is that so hard for us to do? Dear Lord, I'm asking, why is it so hard? Because we're upside down. They're like, you're like, it's kind of like in that movie, or not a movie, the Stranger Things, it was that series or whatever. I didn't watch a whole lot of it, but it was like the underworld, or what was it called? The upside down world, or something of that nature. It's like, that's where we are. Like, we're kind of in this very strange place, right? We're not native, like this is not this is not our home. Okay. You're not from here. So you're just checking things out. It's like the rover that goes like down here to kind of check things out, and you have a mission and a purpose. So as soon as you get that, it's like a yo-yo. They'll like pull you back. They're like, and from what I understand, it's love. Okay. I don't have I'm starting to pay more attention to that. As weird as that sounds, like noticing the loving thing, because I don't know if I know I feel it. I know I felt it when my father passed, for those of you who know me, last October. And I think it's through him and his passing that it's becoming even more like, that's my Nine of Cups, it's like wanting more of that feeling, even though, and Renner talks about this too, love and suffering, like this, he's like, like suffering is like the DNA of love. Like, wow, you know, like there's truth to it, right? And that is sort of our sense of humanity, is that kind of suffering. And, you know, Buddha talks about that. Like, there's some truth to that. Back to our truth telling. Truth time. Tarot truth time, right? You know, doesn't it feel better just to wake the fuck up though? Like, do you want to be hanging upside down for much longer? Like, I sure as hell don't. And, you know, this guy, like, well, how does he get out of the tree? Like, he really got himself in a bind. You know, some of you guys, like, you got yourself all wrapped around some shit, man. You know, I know, I've done it. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to do this, you know? Believe me, I have been the hangman. I mean, forever. It's like, you do things, you know, you're human, you fall down, you get involved with people, you make mistakes. You know, there's no mistakes, really. You know, they're like, you're gonna learn, right? Basically just learn. So the whole idea of like our story, it's like learning. We're just learning. So that's why it's good not to judge, you know, really. Judgment is, I feel like kind of the antithesis of love is sort of like judgment. You know, I really, it's an interesting word, you know, I'm curious to like, I love to dive into that concept just in terms of like biblical references, but also like the judgment card and tarot, and that there's a lot right there in that line, you know. And, you know, I worked with this woman once back when I was studying, you know, I'm a certified life coach. So when I was training for that years ago, I was working with one gal, and she was struggling with judgment. And she's like, I have a rock on my desk. Cause she was, you know, like big player in the world, whatnot. And she's like, every time I feel judgment, she's like, I turn the rock over and it says curiosity on the back. And it's a reminder to turn judgment into curiosity. And she kind of gave examples of like, you know, when she was, I think someone close to her was like giving birth or something like that. And I think she was somehow in the room, and the nurse wasn't like she felt like the nurse wasn't helping her right or doing a very good job, or was being clumsy. And so she's like, instead of judging her, you know, instead of that, you know, she's like, I just became curious, like, why, you know, like was like, not like getting all psychoanalytical into the nurse, but just saying, well, like curious. Okay, so I'm noticing this. Like, maybe how can I help her? How can I, you know, energetically calm things down so she's not so nervous, so she can smooth things out, right? So I like that idea of like judgment and curiosity being like kind of, if you struggle with that, as I do, I definitely do, it's just because we judge ourselves. So, you know, it always comes out, you know, especially like for some reason for me, it's at airports. Like, I don't know, airports, like they drive me bananas, and I'm just like, I just get really judgy. And that's like my little, you know, place where sometimes it just comes out, right? So, you know, but once we are aware of this, like, see, I'm judging my hair, right? Actually, but I'm not, you know, I'm just like, oh, so what? My hair's out of place. Like, it's not a big deal, right? It's what we say to ourselves, like, oh, you're not perfect, or you're not pretty enough. All of these things, this is kind of being released right now. This is part of the things that are keeping you stuck, are those judgments, right? So try to, you know, just let that go. It's really, you know, you're not meant to sit there for too long. And I think you guys know this. I really do. I think you know deep down what you need to do. And it's just kind of, you're just almost, it's sometimes it's okay just to pause, you know, and just be like, okay, like, this is what I'm capable of right now. Like, this is what I can do. Like, you can do it one sort at a time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be this big dramatic thing. It's just slowly start to move the energy around, and that will loosen up some of the thinking as well. So every time you feel like, oh, spinning or whatnot, just try to, you know, water will help a lot. So like getting in water, being near water, even if you could just take a bath or soak somehow, that helps calm the body, and that releases some of the feeling bound. But this is beautiful. Trust the process. This is a beautiful transition, you guys, really. Like, you haven't done anything wrong. So just give yourself a break, right? Give yourself a minute just to heal, to just understand that, like, it's part of the journey. There's no rush to get where you're going, you know, there really isn't. So try to slow down and feel more love, right? And that will just kind of open things up a little bit more. Yeah, look at that sun, right? So feeling that, like it's a great time just to get out and have an adventure, go horseback riding, get out in the sun. It's fall time, right? Great time of year, for most people, right? It's like it's just a be outdoors as much as you can. Enjoy like harvest season. Go like wine tasting, like do like pumpkin patch shit, like enjoy the season, they're saying very much. Like just be outside and enjoy the natural world. I mean, that's where I think most of us always, there's just something about nature because that feels more like at home for us, like I have this little spot in the forest near where I live and I just go like sit on this rock. I'm like, I could literally like live right here. Like it just, I'll just like lie on this rock and it just feels so like, it's like my living room, when you go do that, like kind of forest bathe and things like that. Really good for you, really good for all of us. I mean, even seeing like the leaves and stuff around the pool, it's like nature's always there, it really is such an incredible part. We can breathe better, oxygen's really important. So you guys might be making a big transition to have more of an outdoor lifestyle, or if anyone's leaving like the city and moving out, oh my God, wonderful energy for that. Like go, like some of you guys are like, you're just too in some kind of energy. I know this feeling really well. Like maybe there's a lot of noise around you or there's construction around you, or it's just like the energy is like you're becoming too sensitive for it. And you want to go. Yeah. Chariot for sure. Oh my God, there's so much abundance for you when you get out of wherever you are physically. You might it might take a minute to realize that, but if any of you guys are wanting to travel or move, fuck yes. Like there's so much. Look at the Ten of Pentacles is following the Chariot. Dude, this is amazing. Like absolutely go out, get out into nature, go get the thing, go travel, go do whatever. 1,000%. You will be so like much happier and more fulfilled if you're going back to be around people that you love, like your family, or you're going to be, I always get Italy with this card. I always get like Europe and places of that nature, like going back to your roots, especially if you have like ancestry, like I'm part Scottish, so I really look forward to going to Scotland one day and kind of like walking around in Ireland, places like that, like just to feel it, because I'm like, oh, I just can't wait to be around that kind of energy. Many of you guys are with me on that, or you're feeling like you want to go back to where you're from, Italy or Scandinavia or wherever. We're all from such amazing places, and part of you is really feeling like you want to go back to that or go see it somehow, and that feels really, really good, especially if any of you guys are investing money into a property somewhere. Amazing. Okay, amazing. I mean, really, I just see it very much as like under the Tuscan sun, because she creates this whole family. It's a really good analogy, that story, because she got out of her own way. Like she was not the person who was like, this is what I'm going to be, the woman that does that. She probably grew up in a really traditional way, and she was married and she, all of the things, right? Not, so she had to get out of her own way, but she did that, took that big leap of faith, right? By buying that house. I wonder if it was a true story. It must be a true story. I would think it is, or based on one, right? And she created her family, and I just think it's such a good, like watch that right now if you need some inspiration. Yeah, just be very open. This is about looking forward, y'all. Forward, forward, forward. I've been feeling this for a while now, like the last few weeks. It's just like getting better, going forward, moving into new areas, new chapters. The Three of Wands is all about waiting for your ships to come in, or just being open to abundance, being open to, whatever you want, right? Like it's just like saying, I know that there's good things, ahead. It's being optimistic, okay? And really opening up beyond what you thought was possible. Like don't limit yourself right now. There's no need to limit yourself. It's important that you feel it and you go for it, right? It's really, really, there's a lot of faith here. There's a lot of trust. There's a lot of just like, but I feel like it's all good, right? So whether you're like, okay, this is, I know I'm getting a sense of it, like just keep focusing on the manifestation of that. Even if you don't have to get detailed with it, just focus on the feeling, on the big picture, on what you want to create. Like really good time for that in general, right? So this is great. Yeah, the moon, full moons are really powerful right now. So you can kind of operate on those cycles. I am getting a lot of that energy. So it's a really good for those of you who are kind of like on the spiritual path and, really focus on these kinds of harvest seasons and moons and that kind of energy of like nature's cycles will be really strong for you, like you're like, oh, I just feel it, like it's eclipse season and we definitely have a lot going on right now. So for those of you who are feeling the effects of that, it's good. You're sensitive. So, tides, moon cycles, all of that, like get into all that. You know what I'm saying? Like many of you guys are just like, I don't know. I just feel this great sense of freedom and like a lot of integration because the chariot moves forward when both aspects, the light and the dark, are like awake and aware of each other. You know what I mean? This is like for those of you, who know shadow work, right? Like the shadow, like the shadow's there. It's like the Black Sphinx. It's like the shadow's there. Doubt, fear. But it's when we acknowledge it and not just think that's all there is and be the awareness of it, right? Which is the white things, the awareness of the dark. That's what gives you the most power. It's not saying, oh, everything's going to be great and I'm perfect and amazing. And no, it's not that. It's like recognizing the fact that this is, a little scary or like, oh my gosh, recognizing that there's fear around it, right? By pretending that there's nothing to be afraid of and just saying, oh yeah, I'm amazing. It's going to be amazing. No, you're like, okay, no, this is hard. Like this is a challenge, but acknowledging the challenge is actually what makes you successful. It's not being too like Pollyanna about it or too like overly optimistic. Like, the child is here just to say to be open, of course, but you've learned that you can't just do shit irresponsibly. This is about understanding that there's risk involved in what you're doing, and you want to be aware of that to some degree and not pretend that, this is where you can't, like, this is a lot, in relationships where people just jump in with each other because you're like, oh my God, it feels so amazing. I feel so free. It's like, be wary, people come with stuff, right? And many of us have learned the hard way, like, ow, I don't want to just jump into something because this person could fuck my life up. You know what I mean? Like for any of you guys, I mean, for those my age, we're past all that. We're like, yeah, I totally am not like dealing with this buffoonery kind of bullshit. So, but for younger people who are like thinking that like marriage and all that is like where it's not that it's not where it's at. It's that just don't be like disillusioned. People have their problems. No one's perfect. Don't put people on pedestals right now. Please do not do that. I learned that the hard way. Always thinking someone was better than me or being around people that were like, wow, wow, wow. And I would fall over all the time in terms of my own, I'd put myself right back in this space, and that's a pattern that gets healed as you do this work, right? As you kind of open up to new chapters in your life and you put down the old ways and you recognize, you see things for what they are, and I think it's really good. The good thing there is that when people are healed, they can come together and they can talk openly about what their weaknesses are or what their challenges are. Or it's really good to have those really direct conversations. Like, I love that when you can just meet with someone new and it's just, I don't know, you just get it out, they're saying, you know what I mean? It's like the self-awareness that it requires to understand like what your triggers are, like what, like I know like this, but like what your love language, things of that nature are good. This is like human connection. If that's something that you really desire, which I certainly feel like for you, I think it might feel like it's been like a lonely solo. Oh boy, all these figures are like alone. It's like, yep, from birth to success, it's been a long, lonely road, you know? I mean, shit, who doesn't feel like that, right? I mean, ultimately, I think many of us feel like that. You're kind of like feeling your way through the dark all the time, problem, bumping into shit, you know? Yeah, the tower, fucking things blowing up, and yeah, I get it. I get it. It's been interesting, right? So let some of this just like, kind of calm down. You know, it's like just focus on your own stability right now. Focus on you and like what you're building and growing and creating and what you're desiring and what you're all about. And just be in your own energy, okay? Like don't this is like do not get caught up in other people's stuff right now. Like just don't do it. There's no need. Like that's part of it, you know, why you're feeling stuck is because you're like everyone outside of you is has become a little bit like and they're like just chill, man. Go in the forest. I mean, the Queen of Pentacles is all about nature. Go sit your ass in nature and go focus on your own stability and calm your own self down. That's how you're going to get through it. Is just be in your own energy, be in your own body. Focus on stability, focus on your strength, focus on like building wealth and abundance and goodness. You know, there's a lot of stuff coming through goodness and growth. I mean, if any of you guys are doing things out in nature or you're growing things or you're planting things or you're wanting to do these things, this is so abundantly beautiful. It's hugely successful, so satisfying. And I just love this. I resonate so much with this. And, you know, I feel like it's kind of everyone is kind of going through similar things. It's just like their stories are a little bit different, but I feel like you're going to be coming together with like a whole, like you're just going to feel more at home, you know? Okay, so yeah, like a lot of this mental thing. Okay, so the Queen of Swords is back. She's like, I'm back. Let's talk. You know, someone could be like very, you know, kind of like that right now, kind of intense, where you're like, oh shit, and they're confusing you. Okay, you know, this is the Two of Pentacles. You're like, there's someone around you who's speaking to you in a way that's making you confused and it's keeping you trapped. Okay, so this is someone very specific, and this is not message might not resonate for all of you guys, but for those of you guys who are dealing with kind of an intense, you know, female or someone who's just like really, you know, challenging in that way. They're just like you're putting yourself in a situation that you don't know what to do, you know, and that's keeping you kind of locked in a little bit. Okay, so that's about to end. Like that's just gonna blow up. Okay, so you might want to just kind of start to build something else, especially if it's on the side. This is a great time to kind of like get your side hustle going, start to build a team on some other thing. Like the Three of Pentacles is great. Definitely just start to put your energy into something new, especially if you've got a couple people that want to work with you on it, a new project, something you're building, something you're growing. Like that's your future. Okay, this other stuff is like that's like you're done. There's no warmth in any of this. It's like whatever you're exiting it's just like cold, you know? I don't like it. I know people like this, and I really try to avoid the hell out of them because I don't resonate with it. I like, you know, the Queen of Swords, you know, tarot, it's like there's positives and negatives to each card, right? So there's like the challenging part, which is what we're talking about now. But the good part, or the positive part, I suppose, is truth telling and being very clear and communicative. So when you're in the Queen of Swords in a kind of positive way, I guess you're open and you're clear and you're communicating and you're direct and you're straightforward. That's great. When it's kind of the shadow side of the Queen of Swords, it's someone who's just very cold, no emotion, like zero, like no empathy, like none. And you like, I know people like this. You're like, oh my God, like, do you have a heart? Is it beating? Or are you, like, they're kind of weird, like humanoids, you know, like there's no there. They're just kind of like, you know, oh, people like that really freak me out. And I live in the Bay Area, and there's a lot of them around here because they're like, I don't know. There's just something about that energy. Not that they're just here. They're just, I don't know. It's a thing. And so just, you know, just, it's like, how do you ignore this person? I know, because they're so intense and they're so in your face. You just start to focus on something else. You know, if it's a friend or someone in your life or something like that, like just go do something else, you know, like go play, don't hang out with them, period. You just move on, like definitely time to move on. So however you want to do it. Just don't try to get love from this person. Don't go them for comfort. You know, this happens a lot, like on varying degrees, you know, with certain friends or certain people. It's like you're not going to go to someone with certain things because they might just not have that compassion or the empathy, or they're too caught up in their own bullshit. So they just don't listen or like care, you know, and it's really awful. It's a horrible feeling to be around people like this. You know, they're not bad people, but just know who you know, just be aware of, like, don't keep going back to that person when you want some emotional support. It's just not gonna happen. So that's on you to kind of see that clearly. It's not fun because a lot of times these people are quite close to us, but this is what you're waking up to. So for those of you guys who are feeling like this, oh my God, see, everything's, oh my God. This person makes you a little nervous, a little intimidated. This is the person that you kind of gotta like walk on eggshells around, or you have to kind of say things a certain way so they don't get like, oh boy, I know that type, and you're moving on from that, okay? And you're finding other people who are more like willing to put in the time and the effort. This is a great time to build a team, to have to bring craftspeople together, to bring you know, if you're a consultant, definitely architects, contractors, builders, incredible time for that. Building things in real life, figuring things out together, collaboration, 1,000%. That's how you move forward, my friends. That is how you move forward. The Knight of Wands is saying move forward. Absolutely. You know, charge. You know, use your intuition. That's why we talk about this. That's why I do this work, is because if this resonates, then yeah, you wrap it up. You just wrap some shit up. I love it. You're done feeling sad. You're done feeling sad and alone. You've learned, you've studied, my friends. You've taught, you've read all the books, you've taken all the courses. This is spiritual like mastery. Like you've done it. Focus on your craft. Focus on what you do, okay? And your intuition, listen to that. Listen to your intuition is everything. And this is why we do this, because that's when our kind of spidey sense, you know, our superpowers come online. And that's when we can kind of see things like, oh yeah. When you come from a higher perspective, when you raise your consciousness, when you increase your vibration, you see your life from a higher like perspective. And then all these things, like all the petty shit and all the people, like you just kind of like, wow, you know? And then you have compassion and you look at that humanoid of a friend and you're like, oh my God, you know, like you have love. It's like you just have a, I don't know. It's just like it's more of acceptance, right? And more of a feeling of like, I don't know, not wanting to waste time, you know, doing things that don't matter anymore. It's really, I think many of us are really getting, you know, kind of tuned into that, you know, like your time, you know, and the value of who you are. This is the healing. This is why it's a healing journey as well, is because you're healing and your sense of value is now on the rise because you've healed a lot of that, you know, thinking that you weren't good enough or that you weren't special or, you know, whatever. Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful reading. I mean, that's really just to let it go, right? This is just like kind of releasing all of that right now. Wow, I feel it. I feel good. I feel good. How are you guys doing? I wish I could talk to you. I know I'm still new at all this stuff. This is like my 5th video on YouTube, so I'm doing it. I'm committed every week to doing something. So for those of you who are new, I'm just trying to get a stable connection, which I think we've done. And then I'm learning how to share to Instagram, and you know, anyways, I'm just going to keep coming on as best as I can. and share here. I would love for you guys to comment or subscribe or share, or follow me on Instagram if you're seeing this on YouTube at Frontier Tarot. Building my followers there and getting subscribers will make me like do more, because I could do that all damn day long. I could just hang out with you guys all day long and get personal. I want to like read for each one of you, and let me know like what kinds of help you need, what kind of advice, what kinds of things, and I'll be able to offer, put together some classes, some courses, some Zooms, things of that nature. So all of that I want to create and develop, and I would love to hear your feedback on that, and if that's interesting to you, and if so, then look out. Okay. Oh my God, that's so good. What time is it? Ooh, it's been 40 minutes. I'm going to pull one more Wisdom of the Oracle card for you all. I hope everyone's doing good out there. Yeah, man, we're in September, I suppose, huh? Harvest season. That feels really nice. So for those of you guys who are just enjoy, like the time of year and the change, and it's really good. Breathe a little bit, breathe, focus on your breathing. Back to Jeremy Renner, that's his whole thing, is breathing. And, his book is called My Next Breath, because that's all he could do. I mean, his story is freaking incredible. I highly recommend you guys checking him out, whether you like him as an actor or not. Like, I was telling my son, I'm like, I'm obsessed with Jeremy Renner, and he's like, I don't like that guy. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, because the Avengers, apparently, Hawkeye, is his character. Wasn't his favorite Avenger, so he has this thing around like, and I was just like, oh, but he's so amazing. I'm like, I've never seen an Avengers movie. I don't know like what Hawkeye is. I mean, it's kind of amazing that I haven't seen an Avengers movie, but I don't know, maybe he's not like the best. Anyways, it was like don't say something bad about my hero. I need my heroes right now, right? We all do. Yeah, we all need a leg up. We all need like a little help, a little inspiration, right? Like, so where can we help ourselves, and where, like, can we help others if they're in need? Asking for help, that's, all available to you. Ask and you shall receive, right? I do feel like for some of you guys, you are just getting a helping hand, and just being open to receiving guidance from people, from, like family members, from friends, from opportunities that come that seem like really nice. Trust your feelings. There's definitely that change in the wind. Okay, like, here you go. Like, it's time to change. You are shifting. You are changing. Expect change. The chariot doesn't show up. You don't sit still when the chariot's there, right? Like, allow the change to come through, right? It's like a wind. Like, let it come through you. You're leaving this sense of orphan, we're leaving this sense of loneliness, this sort of existential loneliness that we talk about. That's all, you're changing that. You're leaving that behind, okay? So this is beautiful. Let the storm pass, let it all go, just release everything, and just like everything's gonna be fine. Don't overthink things, you're try not to think, okay? Try to feel. Just feel and release. Okay, a lot of you guys are just letting go of residual pain or grief or things. You feel it out. Just let it release, and then your thoughts will clear up. Okay? Yeah, never ending story. Like, jeez, it's like everything. It's like, oh, it's the same old thing. No, come on. That's your lesson this week. That's your homework. Get out of your own way. Stop telling yourself the same old story. Okay? You can do it. I know you can. Like, let go of the victim thing. Let go of the orphan thing. Let go of the, blah. I get it. I was telling myself the same damn thing, So I'm gonna take this advice for myself and be like, okay, I'm gonna check myself every time I start to feel pity or confusion or blah, 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 like, I don't really do it that much these days, but I definitely can sink into that. So when you feel like that, shift. Just recognize it. Move your body. Get up. Go for a walk. Like, whatever it is that changes the energy, that will help. Okay? Simple. Keep it simple. Okay, y'all, that's what I got for you this week. I hope you all have a really good week ahead. I look forward to seeing you. I'll be back. I'm going to keep doing these and keep going, and well, we're getting there, right? So, thank you to everyone who showed up today, who tuned in. I'm just sending so much love to you guys, and yes, you can find me at frontiertarot.com if you want to book a personal reading. I'm open and available, and I will see you all real soon. Okay, take care. Bye bye.